Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Will with Schedulefly, and I'm here with Chad Biel. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina today at Bohemian Bull. Chad's the owner here, and we're looking forward to chatting today. Chad, thanks for taking the time to do this, my friend.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Okay, so I know you purchased, you had been a part of the partnership here, and then you purchased the restaurant about a year ago. Take me back a little bit prior to that, though. What's your background in hospitality? How did you get started in hospitality?
Sure. Well, I guess you could say, kind of grew up in it a way. Grew up cooking in the kitchen with my mom always. Was one of those kids, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Got a job washing dishes when I was 16 years old and really fell in love with it at that point. Not necessarily the washing dishes part, but just the industry in a whole. Started cooking, became a chef. Worked my way into the front of the house, became a GM, worked a lot in big corporations a lot of my career, which gave me a really good foundation. Opened a lot of restaurants. I think I've got 11 now that I've been a part of openings. Not that I've owned, but just been part of the corporate aspect of it, which taught me a lot.
What were some of the corporations you worked for?
Worked for Carrabba's, which is owned by Outback. Was a corporate trainer for Chick-fil-A for a couple of years.
Great organization.
Really good. That was even though not something that I do currently, in the fast food realm, taught me a lot because they have really great systems and very, very organized company for sure. Yeah. But that was about 3 years with those guys, and was able to work in their corporate office in Atlanta, see what that side of things is like. I think they were at about 2,500 restaurants at that time. Traveled around the country, opened a few stores for them, and there's not many other people that do it quite like those guys do when it comes to being organized for grand openings. It's pretty impressive, and the volume at which they do was pretty mind-blowing. And then got out of the corporate world, wanted to kind of get back to my roots, which I felt like was the mom and pop, and joined the company I'm currently with, and then had an opportunity, like you said, about a year ago to actually purchase the restaurant that I'm in. So that's where we're at now.
Now you're at it full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
Yeah. Are you the only owner here?
I am. Yeah. Well, me and my wife, we have a partnership together here. So
good deal. How long have y'all been open?
We're in our 5th year right now. So in November we'll celebrate our 5-year anniversary.
Congrats. Tell us about Bohemian Bull.
Yeah, sure. So, the full name, which I try to keep it shortened, but is the Tavern and Beer Garden, Bohemian Bull Tavern and Beer Garden. So that can kind of give you an idea of what the feel is like here. I always say bar food done well is the way I like to describe what our food is like. So we make all of our food from scratch. We grind our own burgers here in house. We buy buns made locally right down the street, delivered 6 days a week. Make all of our own sauces. Try to buy as much produce as we can locally, and that's what we really hang our hat on. Our food is a big part of what we do. And then from the tavern side of things is craft beer. So 31 drafts, 31 craft beers on draft, all rotating, changing daily, anywhere from 3 to 5, even 7 kegs a day sometimes. So you're always going to come in and get something different on draft every single time you come in, which I think is really fun. We have a big local following, and so they get to come in and experience something different every single time they come in. And then one of the other things that we're really known for is our outdoor space, so the beer garden part of it. So 6,000 square foot space outside with seating for about 100 people and a fire pit and cornhole, and we do a lot of fun events out there, a lot of fundraising, really try to be part of the community. And those events are typically held out in the beer garden. We have an oyster roast and barbecue fundraiser for a local school this Friday, as a matter of fact.
Okay, good deal. Well, so we're in Charleston, but I asked you beforehand, is the address actually Charleston? And it's because, when people think of Charleston, they sort of think of downtown Charleston. Sure. And we're south of town a little ways. So tell me about the area that we're in here.
Yeah, so we're on James Island. So there's a lot of islands and a lot of waterways and peninsulas and stuff in the Charleston area. And so technically speaking, our address is Charleston, but for the locals, we're on James Island. And I actually live here as well. Like I said, big part of the community here. We're about 4 miles from Folly Beach, which is one of the more popular tourist beaches here. Actually, I should take that back. It's a more popular local beach here.
Oh, really?
I'd like to think that that's where a lot of the locals hang out as Folly, known for its surfing and really great restaurants and really fun kind of artistic vibe. It's where the name Bohemian we really pulled from this area. We're not Bohemian as in Eastern European, we're Bohemian as in artistic and fun and funky and free-spirited, and that's, you can see by the vibe, obviously.
Yeah,
people
for
that
sure.
are listening can't see, but it's definitely a cool, funky vibe in here. So
Absolutely. So are you, you've got a local beach that is favored by locals, but I've got to imagine the summertime you've got a lot of tourists here as well, or?
we do, yeah, we do. We are just, I like to think of us as kind of semi-seasonal. I mean, we have a slower time of the year when it's a little bit cooler out, but we have a big enough local following that we're not a real seasonal place.
Okay.
Where you get into, I think, some areas, that are beach communities where, man, it's a ghost town in the off season. We don't experience that here, which is nice. Really good for me and my staffing. I'm not forced to have to do layoffs or anything like that over the quote unquote off season, which is very beneficial. But yeah, we definitely get a push. Our lunches change a lot as the weather gets warmer and kids are out of school and stuff like that. We do pretty quiet lunches, during the school season, and then as soon as school gets out, those lunches start to ramp up, and we definitely see a little bit of a change of pace. Even though we're 4 miles off the beach, during certain events, you'll see traffic back all the way up to our restaurant. So this Saturday is Folly Gras. The beach is called Folly Beach, and they do a Mardi Gras party on this Saturday coming up. It's a big event, and we'll have traffic that'll be backed up all the way to the restaurant. Gotcha. Good place to stop and have a beer while you're waiting to get to the beach.
Yeah. Well, what's changed since you took the place over?
We definitely have worked on some menu development. We're trying to kind of develop more than just the burgers. That was really what we were known for in the beginning, was just our burgers, and we became kind of a burger place for a while, and we still hang our hat on that. I think that will always be something that we'll be known for. When you make a great burger, it's hard to get away from that. People love them.
Yeah.
But we're definitely diving more into getting a more in-depth menu. We have jambalaya on our menu now. We have a couple pasta dishes on our menu now, and we've got some fried shrimp platters, and resourcing sustainable seafood and trying to have some seafood items on our menu, and crab cakes and things like that, that obviously not only appeal to the locals but also to tourists as well. If you're coming to Charleston, you want to eat good seafood, and so we've gone, as we say, beyond the burger, and developed some more fun menu items as well. And since I've taken over, we built a stage outside, so we've done some live music on the weekends. I think for me, I go back to talking about being part of the community. That's such an important part. With me living here, my family here, I have 2 kids that are in school here. Being part of the community has been a big part for us, and so we do fundraisers all the time. At least once a month we have something going on. We have a really big one that's close to our hearts here, for the Surfers Healing, which is a nonprofit organization that takes kids with autism out surfing. Those are professional surfers and stuff, and they take them out on Folly Beach, and we do fundraisers for them every year, and we're doing one in March. It's going to be really fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. What do you own this building?
No, I do not.
You don't?
I'd like to.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully at some point.
Yeah,
I have a great landlord, though. We have a fantastic relationship with each other.
Okay.
And I'll be here for a while.
You'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to continue to build the stage and grow kind of within your 4 walls, or
absolutely. Yeah. And he's really open to us. Obviously, it's his property, so he's going to be happy to have us do anything to it that's going to benefit it. But we're in the process right now. We've submitted permits to build roof over top of our seated area outside, so we can provide shade in the summertime, and eventually we'll be able to put, fans and heaters and lighting and all that kind of stuff over that as well. So that should be in the next week or two. Hopefully we'll have that built out as well, just in time for it to be 90 degrees out here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And is that, your long term, are you just want to continue to grow here? Do you plan to expand the concept, or?
I think expansion for me is a no-brainer. We've had a lot of people that have asked us to open in different parts of Charleston. My corporate background makes me a little hesitant. We were talking before this podcast started about some of the challenges with big corporations when you get into a certain size, the bureaucracies that go hand in hand with that, and all the kind of systems and stuff that are put in place. And I've always kind of felt like maybe 3 is a magic number, but I might get to 3 and say 5's a magic number, and I might get to 5 and say 7. I really don't know what the future holds, but we do know that we want to grow at some point, and probably open a couple more, at least in the Charleston area, and then we'll see how well we manage that and how well the business goes when we get to 2 and 3 and 4 concepts, and kind of go from there.
2 and 3 and 4 concepts, or 2 and 3 and 4 locations of the same?
We're not really sure yet. I think it's easy to take the format that's already been developed and put another location out there. But with my background, having worked at a lot of different styles of restaurants and different concepts of restaurants, I'm open to also thinking about opening different styles and different concepts as well. I think to start with, it'll probably be another Bohemian Bull, because we know the format, we know that it works. We have all the systems, recipes, and checklists, and everything that goes into having a successful business and a successful restaurant we have in place here. So that's obviously the easiest thing to do to start with. But down the road, there may be something else that develops. I've got ideas.
Good deal. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what those are. So, do you? How does just take a typical day? I guess your day. I know they vary a ton, but how much time do you spend here at the restaurant?
It changed recently. When I first took over, and really my entire career, I was a 5-6 day a week, 7 day a week sometimes, especially during openings of new restaurants. For the first 6 months, you pretty much live there, at least 6 months. I was probably your stereotypical restaurant manager, putting in 50 to 60 hours a week, somewhere in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
And my long-term goal for my entire management team, and I'm very open with them about this, is really for them and myself to be more like a 45 to 50 hour a week. I think you can have a much higher level of productivity when you're able to focus on those hours rather than just being here all the time.
Yeah.
But you have to be strategic about that. You have to have the right staff. You have to have the right people. You don't flip a switch and go, well, I'm going to just work 40 hours this week.
Mm-hmm.
This business doesn't allow that, unfortunately.
Right.
And so my typical day changed from working 5 to 6 days a week in the business, working 10 to 12 hours a day in the business. Back in December, I started working my way out of the daily operations. I'm here for when obviously somebody's out sick, or if there's vacations or we have an event going on, I'm always here. But now my time is more spent, rather than running a shift, I'm here just to kind of help, and to be here when they need me to be here too. So I'm here almost every day. I probably spend 7 days a week here, but I'm not necessarily here. Like this morning, we have one of my managers is here opening the restaurant, and I'll have a manager here tonight closing the restaurant. But yet I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning, and I'm leaving to go to a meeting this afternoon off site, and I'll be back at 4 o'clock this afternoon again.
Yeah, it varies.
But it's nice, because I think it's given me a little more flexibility, but it's also allowed me to focus on the growth of the business. So different strategy, rather than being here every day and working on the 4 walls, as I say, of bussing tables and washing dishes and bartending and serving. I'm looking at it from a different perspective now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about growth, these are the types of opportunities I would imagine that help you attract and keep really good people on your team.
Absolutely.
Folks that may want an opportunity to grow within the business as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been really lucky to have a fantastic team. I wouldn't be able to do what I do in the sense of stepping away a little bit. I hate to use that word, but not working, I guess, the daily kind of shifts if I didn't have an awesome team. I mean, we've got a fantastic management team, and they're all in it for the long haul, man. They want to be part of it. They believe in it. And I'm at that point where I'm finally the trust fall is happening where I'm stepping away more in the sense of like, here, you guys make some decisions on things and do some things that maybe I wouldn't always feel comfortable with. And I think a great example of that was they wanted to open for brunch on New Year's Day because Folly Beach was doing a polar plunge. And brunch for us is it's like opening a new restaurant. It's a whole nother menu. It takes a lot of staffing to do. We do it every Sunday, and that's about as much as I can handle. It's a little stressful sometimes because it's high volume. It's one of our biggest day parts, and they wanted to do it, and they pushed me, and I gave them the go ahead, and we ended up doing the biggest brunch we've ever done since we've been open.
Oh wow!
And so that was a huge pat on their backs because honestly, we've been open for 4 years. We've never done it. And and they pushed and it allowed me to kind of it gave me a big smile because I was very proud that they had made that decision to do something that.
Why do you think it was so important
risky.
to them?
Because I think that they felt like they wanted to own that piece a little bit.
Something? Yeah. Okay. And show they could execute.
And they were willing to take the failure on it if it had happened, and it wouldn't have been. It wasn't like a huge risk, I mean, it was just labor costs essentially was the biggest thing. Obviously we're bringing in some different food and stuff, but they were excited and enthusiastic about it, and I almost couldn't say no. And we were at that point too where I was feeling more and more comfortable. I had been 30 days in or so at that point of kind of stepping away, and I felt good about the decisions they were making, and so felt confident with them doing it, and it worked out great, obviously.
This is a tough business. Restaurants are a tough business. It's hard to get it right. It's hard to get it right for a long period of time. You guys have done really well with that. You probably you've had a lot of experience in it. A lot of the systems you need to put into place and the way you need to manage and run these places well. What when you see places come and go, and I'm sure that happens. It must happen a lot in Charleston. There's just so many restaurants here. They can't all be successful. What are people getting wrong? What are people missing when they don't succeed?
Man, that's tough because I always try to have a sense of humility because I think it can. I always feel like, gosh, it can happen to any one of us any day. Because you do see sometimes restaurants that are really great. That you're like, wow, I wonder what happened there. But 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's usually that you kind of can place there's a reason why. You're kind of looking at it and go, okay, well, that's why they didn't make it. And I've always felt like there's 4 things you have to get really right in this business, and that's good food, good service, cool, good vibe. Some people call that different things, but we call it a vibe here, and cleanliness. And we've all been to that like hole in the wall restaurant that maybe like doesn't have the greatest vibe, but man, their food is like out of this world good.
Yeah.
So I think you can get away with some of those things, but you can't get away with multiple of them. I think you have to have almost all those kind of clicking.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've seen, from what my experience has been that's typically why a lot of restaurants don't do well, is because they don't focus on all 4 of those aspects. And there's a lot that go into each one of those things. It sounds very simple. It's just do these 4 things and you'll be successful. Right. But obviously those 4 things, each one of them has a bountiful list of things that you have to do in order to make those work. And I've done some consulting, and typically when I go into restaurants to do consulting, it's usually one of those things that's missing. It's usually the case.
Yeah, and you're able to pick up on that and
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Typically speaking.
How much do you still do consulting?
Not right now, since I've bought the business, but I'm happy to. I'm always open to do it, and a lot of times I don't do it at any charge because I want to see other businesses succeed.
That's awesome.
I think that, like you said, this business is challenging, and I think a lot of people put a lot of love into what they do with this business, and then they see it fail and they don't really know why. I want to see a lot of those people succeed. So I like doing it if I can. If I have the time to do it, I don't mind spending time with people, because a lot of times it's not something that takes a ton of time and effort to do. It's just hey, look at this from this kind of perspective and how things are happening here, and fix this piece of your puzzle. And unfortunately, in this business, that's not a light switch. You're not going to fix this one thing and then all of a sudden drones of people are going to come running through your door. You have to then get people back in. And that's also the second challenging part. So
how do you use a lot of social media?
We do. Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah, and I manage that for the most part, but I manage it with the help of we have like a guy that works for us that does photography and tries to keep our brand consistent through the photography, because that's what social media primarily is your photographs of your food and your business and your events, and if those are coming from different cameras or different filters or just different people posting it, you end up with inconsistency. So we have a guy who does that. He also does graphic design for us as well, so that helps. When I say I manage it, I simply just basically do the posting of the material that he puts together.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's my verbiage, maybe, I guess is a good way to put it, with his photography.
Yeah, I mean, is that becoming more and more prevalent within?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
It seems like some places are just locked in on social media, and some are very successful and don't, maybe do as much.
Sure, I would agree with that completely. I think there's some places that they don't feel that it may not be relevant to their business, and that's maybe why they choose not to do it. And maybe they don't feel like they need to because they have the success without needing to do it. I think our customer base enjoys it. I think they want to know what's happening with our food and what's happening with our beers, and like we spoke earlier about the kind of ever-changing beer list that we have. I think they enjoy finding out about that. One of the things that's been really successful with us is on Fridays we do a little beer video. It's started out as something that I just did for fun, and like a 1 minute long video where I'd pick one of our beers off our draft list and take a few minutes to just kind of chat about it and say, hey, this is our beer of the week, and this is what it tastes like, and this is what the hops are that are in it, and this is what kind of malts they're using, and this is the ABV and the IBUs, and come get it while we have it. And I did one video and it had like 1,000 views, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. So I continue to do it, and I've been doing it for years now. And it's one of the most, like, when I miss a week or two here or there, if something's going on and I don't have time to make the video or whatever, I'll hear it. I'll actually get text messages and stuff from regulars and from my family who doesn't live here. I missed your video this week.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool.
Was it? So that I think shows how impactful stuff like that can be. So the guys who aren't doing it, maybe there's a reason why they're not doing it, or maybe they just don't have the resources to do it as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Instagram primarily, is that what you use? Or?
Both. Yeah, both Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if Twitter is relevant for restaurants or not.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we have any followers on Twitter or not, to be honest with you. I hate to be that way, but so there probably is somebody out there going, oh, that's how I follow you guys. But it's primarily Facebook and Instagram is where we get most of it.
Gotcha. Good deal. What else is on your mind? Anything else?
No, man. Love Schedule Fly, though.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Definitely want to give you guys a shout out, man. It's been an incredible format for us to use, and everybody who comes on board with us thinks it's like the coolest thing ever. And so we really appreciate it and have really enjoyed in the years that we've been using it, and hope to see you guys continue to grow and continue to use the platform you guys are using, because it's incredible. It's really
awesome. I appreciate that very much. Thank
absolutely.
you. We're proud to serve y'all. Proud to serve a lot of awesome, that's just kind of our audience. It's locally owned, small, independent restaurants, small restaurant groups, folks that are dialed into their communities, folks that are doing things creative and fun. And while very thankful to have the opportunity to come out and sit down and meet folks like you, Chad, and talk to you and hear your story and share your story. And
well, I mean, when you came in today and you're like, oh, I met with this person, and then, like, we're all in that community. I know all those guys that you met with today, and they would, I think a lot of similar mindsets in what we do, and they've had great successes in themselves. And I think it's cool that we all agree to use the same platform. I mean, that I think that speaks volumes to its relevancy and its ability, to be functional and at the same time simple and affordable. And I mean, it's awesome. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you for saying that. Not necessary, but very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to wrap this up, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll have more episodes coming up soon. But thank you, Chad Biel, Bohemian Bull here in Charleston, South Carolina. Y'all have a good one.